Hey there everybody, and welcome back to another Fast Python series. Today we're going to be going over strings. So this is going to be a pretty quick video as there isn't a whole lot to go over, and this is just like another basic intro course to strings. So the first thing we're going to do is just how we are going to print out strings in Python. You're going to do print, and then it's just going to be quotations. You can do single or double quote, and this is going to be printing out a string. We can also do it with a single quote as well. Just to give you an example, and if we just go ahead and run this, we're going to see right here, this is a string, this is another string. We got the text out right here. So the next thing we're going to go over is how to format strings. So there's a few different ways to format strings in Python. The first way and the older way is C-styling, C-style formatting, and basically what this is we can do, this is a string with a variable. Let's actually create a variable. Let's just name it X and make it 5. And what we can do in here then is actually put a %d, and %d just basically stands for decimal. So it means a decimal value, so a number. And then we can put a % and x. So what this is doing is it's actually going to take this x value and inject it into this area right here. So if we print this out now, we'll actually see this is a string with a variable 5. So this is going to be C string formatting. The next one we can also use is the format function that's built into Python. And what this is going to do is do something similar. We're going to say this is another string with a variable, if I can type today. And instead of the %d, we're going to put brackets and then 0 for the 0th element. And basically we're going to say then is format and x. And what this is going to do is print out the exact same message that we had. So this is another string with variable 5. So the reason why we have 0 here is because it's the 0th element past the format. So say we had a variable y and this was 10, and we put in here with a variable there, and we put another bracket with 1, and we passed y to it. Then what this is actually going to do is actually going to print out both the x and y value. So this is just basically the index of what value past the format we want to use. So that's the format. The most commonly used is f strings, and basically the difference between f strings is it's newer to Python. So what we do is actually we're going to put an f and then put the quote, and then we're going to say this is a string with variable, and what we're going to do is again have brackets, and then actually within our brackets put the actual variable name, and this is going to print out that variable then for us. So here we go again, this is a string with variable 5. And we can do that with a bunch of them and have y in here as well. So basically anything within the brackets is going to get printed out, and we just pass the variable by name to this. So this is cleaner to me. I think it's the best way of doing it. So the next thing we're going to go over is string concatenation. Basically all that is combining strings. So if we had string x and we said that was going to be this is the beginning, and we had string y, and we wanted to combine these, we can just do a simple x plus y. So it's kind of like the addition for strings. What this actually does is going to print out, this is the beginning of string, this is the end of the string. But as you can see, we don't have a space in between here. And that's because we don't have spaces at the end of either of these strings. So what we can also do is we can actually do a print and then x comma y. And what this is going to do is actually insert a space in between the two strings that we have. So now as you can see, we have a space in between string and this. So that's string concatenation. It's a very common thing to do. You actually probably do that a lot with strings, just adding them together, adding onto a string. The next thing you can actually do with a string is kind of do multiplication on it. So say we now have x, which is x is now going to be this string, and we want to multiply this so many times. We can actually do the same thing, but x times 5, and if we do that, what's going to actually happen is it's actually going to print that out 5 different times. So this is helpful if you want to just have repetitive strings over and over again. The next thing we're going to do is string comparison. So we're going to have comparisons. And the comparison, how it works in Python is it actually uses lexicographical or dictionary ordering. So what word would appear earlier in a string is going, or in a dictionary is going to have a less value to it. So if we had string A, and this is going to be A, and we had string B, which is going to be B. Obviously, A is going to come before B. So if we print out A is less than B, we're actually going to get out a true value here. So that's because of the fact, again, this word would show up before this word in the dictionary. So that's the ordering that it uses within Python. Now the last thing we're going to go over is going to be iteration. And iteration on strings basically just goes character by character. So if we put in a nice for loop here, we just do for C in X. So we can say X as we can remember is this string. What it's actually going to do is it's going to go through and actually go through each different character within the string itself. So as you can see, it prints out at the bottom here this string, each character at a time. And again, that's just how the iterator works for strings. With that being said, I hope you guys like this video. I'm going to be getting a few more of these videos out in the next coming days. Please subscribe, leave a comment for anything else you want to see with Python, as well as leave a thumbs up on this. See ya.